Hey guys, good evening and welcome back again to your Unacademy NEET English channel. I hope all of you are doing great, having a good time. My dear students, as I told you in the last video that your JEE Mains is giving tough warning to all the NEET 2026 aspirants. So today, JEE examination, it came to an end, or there might be one or two shifts pending that will be happening day after tomorrow or maybe on Tuesday, right? But almost the examination is over. And what are the conclusions? What are the things which we got to know from the JEE Mains that can be repeated in the NEET examination as well? So for that purpose, I'm making this particular video, and I want you guys to watch this particular video till the end. My dear students, from the last 5 to 6 years, I would say, your JEE Mains examination level and the NEET examination level, it used to be almost the same. But this year, in the JEE Mains examination, we saw something very strange, right? That might be replicated in the NEET 2026 examination as well. Perfect. So it might be a strong message from NTA that yes, your NEET examination is going to be comparatively moderate than the other NEET examinations happened in 2024, 2023, 2021, etc. So first of all, let me exactly tell you what exactly are the conclusions which we have to take care of in these last 3 months so that we can score really well when it comes to the NEET 2026 examination. My dear students, I have selected some of the questions from chemistry section. Understand, analyze these questions and see how chains have occurred in the JEE examination, right? How the patterns of the questions have slightly changed, right? And they might be replicated directly or indirectly in your NEET examination as well. For example, if you talk about this particular question, it is a question from electrochemistry. You are given with a galvanic cell, right? Till now, we used to be given with 4 options in the NEET examination, right? Or in the JEE examination. Look at how many options we are given with. We are given with 5 options now. So if options are increased, that means you have to read all these options carefully. So this particular question, in order to solve this, it is definitely going to take more time than expected, right? For example, if you look at this particular question, a simple molecule, XCO2F2. What kind of questions you used to get till now? What is the shape of XCO2F2? Or what is the hybridization of XCO2F2? You used to get questions like that. My dear students, if you look at this particular molecule, XeO2F2, there are 4 options which are given. One is OXeO bond angle, FXEF bond angle, shape of XeO2F2, number of valence electrons in xenon in XeO2F2. So all the parameters related to XeO2F2 are asked. It's not only one parameter was asked. A lot of students, they remember hybridization through tricks. They don't understand the meaning of hybridization, right? They remember valence shell electron pair repulsion theory through tricks. They don't understand what exactly happens. This particular question, only those students can solve who exactly know the structure of XeO2F2, who exactly know where do we need to place oxygen, where do we need to place fluorine, should we place them at axial positions, at equatorial positions, etc. So to solve these sort of questions, you should have the deep understanding of the concepts basically. It's not like you're mugging up from some trick and doing the question. No, you cannot solve this sort of a question from the trick. Okay, you should have the proper understanding of the concept. For example, talk about this particular question. Most stable carbocation. Till now, if you used to get the question on stability of carbocation, the first thing that used to come to your mind, that used to be hyperconjugation or resonance. Now, these sort of questions have been asked. Right? Okay, rings are given. This is a bicyclo compound. This is bicyclo. Right? Rings are asked basically. Questions on rings are asked. So you have to take care of hyperconjugation as well as resonance as well as extent of resonance basically. Perfect. Then only you can solve this sort of a question. Similarly, my dear students, for example, look at the question from atomic structure. You will understand. In hydrogen-like species, an electron jumps from an orbital having 2 radial nodes and 2 angular nodes to the orbital having same sign of wave function in all the directions. If energy of the emitted photon is 326 electron volts, the species is. Do you see how many concepts are merged here? First of all, you should have the knowledge of nodes. You should know nodes are of 2 types, radial nodes, angular nodes. You should remember their formulas. How do we calculate them? After that, you should have an idea of wave function as well, psi as well. Perfect. After that, you should have the idea about the energy as well. Perfect. So it's a mixture of different concepts. So this particular question you can only solve if you have studied entire atomic structure in a proper way. It's not like you have skipped some of the topics from atomic structure. You cannot do that. Okay, you have to keep this particular thing in consideration, right? So whatever topics I should not say whatever topics you are studying from a chapter. All the topics, first of all, you are supposed to study from a particular chapter, right? And you have to do them in a conceptual way, right? It's not about mugging up things now. For example, this is a small question. 10 ml of 0.2 molar this requires 8 ml of 0.2 molar KMnO4 acidic. Calculate X. Till now, what NEET students used to do, they used to skip the titration part, right? Equivalent concept they used to skip. Titration part they used to skip. Now, my dear students, questions have been directly asked from the titration part. And in your syllabus also, there's the titration of KMnO4, titration of H2O2. So you have to do them. Perfect. You have to do them. You cannot skip them at all, right? Look at this particular question. Reaction is given, delta G naught is given. Till now, what kind of questions we used to get from this concept? We used to get the questions, calculate the temperature above or below which the reaction is spontaneous, etc., etc., etc. Till now, we used to get something like that. But look at this particular question, delta G naught is given. They are asking the major component at time t. Which one is the major component at time t? Is Y major component at time t if temperature is 280 Kelvin? Is X major component at time t if, is X major component if temperature is 315 Kelvin? If Y is the major component if temperature is 300 Kelvin? So these sort of options are basically asked. So first of all, you have to check the temperature first. After that, you have to check which is the major component also. So in order to solve this sort of equation, again, some deep understanding of the concept is to be needed, right? Okay, so all those students who have studied thermodynamics in a nice way, in the conceptual way, they can solve this sort of equation, right? Similarly, my dear students, this sort of equation is frequently asked. Estimation, right? So I would say your Geldal's method and Dumas method, they were asked almost in every shift, right? There is high probability it will be asked in your examination too. Perfect. And this sort of equation you can directly solve with the help of your principle of atom conservation, PUAC method. Perfect. So we cannot skip PUAC at all. Similarly, for example, this is the question. For two reactions, the difference between activation energy is this at 300 Kelvin. Calculate ln of Kb by Ka. This is a direct question from your this chemical kinetics. But again, this sort of equation will take a lot of time to do a bit of calculation, right? So again, from this particular question, I can say your calculation must be very, very, very strong, right? You have to devote all these 3 months to solve more and more questions. You have to devote all the time to solve more and more questions so that your calculation becomes perfect. Then only this question can be solved within 30 to 40 seconds. Otherwise, it's going to take 2-3 minutes for sure. For example, see, benzene is given and these are the reagents, first, second, third, fourth, five reagents we are adding. We have to get the product. Once we get the product, then we have to find the percentage of nitrogen in the product. Perfect. So all the things are given in the mixed way. So my conclusion is, first of all, always, whenever NTA has to send any sort of hint related to the level of the NEET examination, most of the times they send it through the level of the JEE mains examination, right? So JEE mains examination, I won't say the questions were difficult or something. I won't say the questions are difficult, but if you look at the questions, in order to solve them, there should be definitely a proper conceptual understanding. For example, order of bond length. This particular question is directly given in the table in NCERT, right? And those values which are given in the table, as per those values, you can solve this sort of a question, right? For example, H2X, its K1 is given, K2 is given, right? We have to calculate X di-negative concentration for a 0.1 molar H2X solution. Again, this sort of a question, a normal student who has studied equilibrium, right, thoroughly like upar se, I would say, right? He won't be able to solve this question. So in order to solve this question, again, deep understanding of the concept is needed, right? For example, this is the question. Reaction is given, Kp is given, degree of dissociation of NH3 at root 3 atm, equilibrium pressure is alpha. Calculate the value of 7 alpha square. Again, to solve this particular question, 2 to 3 minutes, 4 minutes even are required to solve this question if your calculation is not up to the mark, right? If your concepts are not up to the mark. So first of all, you should be knowing the process for the KP-KC calculation, right? And you should be solving a lot of questions on KP-KC, then only this question can be solved in less than 1 minute. Otherwise not. You won't be able to solve this question in less than 1 minute. So the point is, what NT is trying to do, right? Through the JEE mains examination, if I would say, the questions are slightly very conceptual, I would say. Not slightly, they are very conceptual. So you should have the proper understanding of the concept, right? You should be doing a lot of problems so that you improvise your calculation speed. Perfect. Instead of 3 to 4 options, some 5 to 6 options are even given in some questions. Again, for that, you should have a proper understanding of the concept. And at the same time, my dear students, at the same time, the questions which are asked, right, mainly they are giving the lengthy questions, which will take a lot of time. But if your calculation is fast, if your concept is stronger, so definitely you can solve these questions in less than 1 minute. So for that purpose, these 3 months are going to play a vital role in your preparation. Okay, vital role in your preparation. You have to make your concepts very strong through thorough revisions, through a lot of problem practices, etc., etc. Then only I believe you can solve the questions in easiest way, in the best possible way, I would say, and that too in the lesser time, right? So these are basically the hints which we are getting from NTA that your NEET 2026 paper, particularly in chemistry subject, which used to be easy till now, it might be moderate, might be lengthy, right? So we have to do the preparation in such a manner now so that we take care of all the things whatever I've told you in this particular session. Okay. So I hope you found this particular video useful, right? So do whatever I told you to do, and I believe you can easily score well when it comes to your chemistry. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.